Hello and welcome back to my channel. For this video, I did yet another wreath card, you guys. I was having too much fun. Alright, so I've got picked raspberry, fossilized amber, and rustic wilderness. And I am just doing a very simple ink blend on a paper large enough to cut several leaves from. This blend did not have to be perfect since I had planned on using it to cut pieces out of. And I didn't spend as much time as I normally would on this type of blend specifically for that reason. Like, there was no reason for me to spend like just a crazy amount of time on it. So this was all done very quickly. I just made sure that my colors overlapped a little bit to give a slightly different color where they meet. So more of a yellow-green where the green and yellow meet, and then more of a orange color where the pink and the yellow meet. I am using the Tropical Leaves backdrop die set. I'm not using the actual backdrop, but I'm using 3 of the leaves from it. And I am going to place them on my panel and just cut out a bunch of leaves until I have cut everything. Now this is my card base. I have taped it shut because I made it myself with some very thick cardstock and it did not want to stay closed. And now I am making a border along each edge of my card. Now I'm just lining up my washi tape with the very edge of the card. I also made sure that it wasn't quite as sticky by rubbing it on my arm first. And I will say that this whole thing was probably pointless just because it's not really that apparent that there is a border. Anyway, all I'm doing is smushing each ink pad down on my stamp block, watering it down a little bit, and then taking my paintbrush, dipping it in there, and then splattering it on my background. I'm doing this with all 3 colors, and if you watch my previous video, you will see that I did it in that video too. Once I get an idea in my head, it usually comes with lots of siblings, I guess. So I like the wreath card that I had done before, and I thought it would be cute to do a Valentine's Day one. I thought it would be cute to do a summer one. I've had several ideas for these. So anyway, for this one, I am using the flamingos from We Flamin-go Together from Fawn. I thought this was the perfect thing because they're pink and it would go with the tropical look. Alright, now I'm using some RV shades to color my flamingos. Honestly, this bright pink color combination that I have, I feel like this is the only time I ever really use it. It's just to color flamingos. I don't know that I've ever really used it for a whole lot else. It is so bright. As I was coloring the first flamingo, I did go in with my lighter colors to map out where I wanted the shadows. But then when I moved to my second flamingo, because I already knew where I was going to put the shadows based on where I put the shadows on the first one, I just went straight to the darkest color. This is a time saver to some extent. And this is something I do when I color a lot of images of the same type. I usually only map out the shadows for the first one or until I'm comfortable with it. And then the following ones, I just go straight in with the shadows and then I work my way from there. Now I have my white gel pen, but this is just to clean up the edges a little bit because I have the Brothers Scan and Cut that I got for Christmas one year, which is great. Like, I love having the dies for things, but because I can't really afford both the dies and the stamps for everything, it helps me save money. So anyway, it'll cut out whatever markings happen to be on the paper. So if you don't want like extra lumps and bumps, you kind of have to clean up your work. And I simply traced a circle die on my paper just to give me an idea of where I needed to lay my leaves. So I started with I don't even know what these type of leaves are. Like, I just don't. But the longer ones, I started with those, and I did not adhere the very ends down so that I could tuck some other leaves right behind it. And I made sure that I went from green, and it kind of meets at yellow, to orange to pink. And that's how I decided where to lay my pieces down. I will say at one point when I was adhering these down, my paper shifted and my leaves like fell together in a clump. So at that point, I really kind of messed up in the placement, but it was not that big of a deal because I am adding extra leaves over the top. So you can't really tell a whole lot. And now here I'm just adding the smaller leaves. Again, I don't know that type of leaf. I'm not good with plants. I'm just not. I know a few flowers that I think are pretty, but yeah, anyway. I'm just placing my leaves where I think they fit, and I tried to keep them with the exact same color. And once that's adhered, I am moving on to my sentiment, which I wanted to keep it fairly simple. And I am going to heat emboss "We" and "Together" from that same stamp set. I'm using my regular white embossing powder that I use for everything I emboss with white. And I have inked it up with Hero Arts Unicorn White Pigment ink, just so that there was less of a chance that there would be like blank spots in the word. Now here I'm going to stamp the word flamingo in Flamin-go ink from Fawn. And for my heat emboss sentiments, I'm just going to use these label dies from Avery Elle. I am going to actually have to shorten the "we" because that's the biggest or smallest of the labels I had. So I just lined it up with the opposite edge to kind of trim it down a little bit more. And now I have my words, "We, Flamin-go, together." And here again, I don't ever really plan too much at the very beginning of my card making stage. So I really wasn't sure where I was going to put my words. So I have it like this for now, but that's not actually how it's going to end up. To adhere my flamingos, I added some foam tape to the back, and I'm just going to tuck them in the center of the wreath. I did decide, since my wreath, the color isn't perfectly straight going horizontally, that I kind of liked my top word to be just a little bit crooked. I thought it kind of added something to the card. I don't know. Maybe it was a poor choice, but at the time I liked it. And I guess I still don't hate it. So there's that. Now I'm just gluing my sentiment on. And after that, my card is done. I hope you guys enjoyed this card. Sorry that it's so much like my last card, but I had a lot of fun making this. If you guys do something similar, I'd love to see it. Tag me on Instagram. My information is in the description box. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!